Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
On this episode of the Blind Apex Podcast, we're going to talk about how to approach the off-season. It's subjective, real subjective. It's very situationally dependent. So obviously I can't do this by myself. Joining me is a BMW lover, maybe a collector. I don't know what number you have to get that status. Coffee snob and host of the 91octane podcast. John, welcome to the show.
It's probably my favorite intro so far.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we've been, internet friends, right? So we both host podcasts. They're both car related. We both drive on track. We both know Jaime from Race FF, and I'm pretty sure that's how we linked up. And then I don't know. It's been a internet joke stream ever since. Now it's because you changed the format a little bit of 91 octane. So do you want to get into 91 octane a little bit before we get into your racing background?
Yeah. So 91 octane, for all of you who don't know, all of Blind Apex listeners, actually started as a bit of a passion project with another ex coworker of mine. And it started covering kind of current events, and it went through different phases of what we wanted to cover on the show. Initially, my idea, what I wanted to do was kind of be a national lampoon for cars. That was sort of what I wanted to do, kind of sort of the Mad TV, Mad Magazine approach to media. But it just required a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting. And then I lost the partner. He decided to go on to other things, and I carried the brand on by myself. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try a few things, but maybe I'll try what my original idea was. And I converted 91 Octane into a satirical news site.
Yep.
Because, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, right? Like, we like joking around. That's like all we do. So why not turn it into, why not turn it into the podcast? So since then I've done that. It's done decently well, and I kept the podcast going, and this is where we're at now.
Yeah. You duped the snot out of those people on Instagram. If you don't know, you got to follow them at 91 octane. Is it a podcast also, or is it just at 91 octane? On Instagram?
No, it's just at 91 octane, yeah. Or just go to 91octane.com. All letters, no numbers, and you'll find me.
Yeah. So, my week is so booked. It's the week after Nationals. Nationals really jazzed me up to have this conversation anyway, and I was semi unplugged for 4 days, and I got back to your page and I was like, what? There's still people who take things seriously,
It's mind-boggling. I honestly thought I was being exaggerated enough to where it was obvious it wasn't true. But it turns out there's a pretty extreme spectrum of people that believe whatever is on the internet, despite I tag it satire, right? It's not like I'm hiding the fact that it's not real. First. I'm being upfront about it. Yeah, that's the problem.
Right. But your artwork has gone. You do artwork for every one of these stories that you're covering and posting on Instagram. And your artwork has gone more to a very satirical style. You're still using some of the base like truth photos to really like jazz it up. And there's still people who are just hook line. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, same here. Same. And it turns into an argument between the people who know, right? The people on the inside and the people on the outside. And it's just hilarious to watch the exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's like self-correcting. I don't even have to step in, right? There's people like dude, why are you believing this? This is not true. Why, but it's like some people even go into like detective mode. And like I posted the Bring a Trailer post about the $3 million Altima, and I get a DM saying, I just looked this up on Bring a Trailer. It's not true. Why are you posting this? It's like, come on, man. Like, do you really need me to tell you? I shouldn't have to spell it out.
Some people still need it. I just
Yeah.
I listen to the podcast too, your podcast, and you announced you were doing the transition to be more satirical, especially on Instagram, and you readily admitted you were like, there's gonna be people who fall for it. But it's been well over a month now, right? I mean, multiple months.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no, it's been this is probably like 5 weeks or so now.
yeah, it's I'm just like, I don't believe this, but give them a follow because it's always a good laugh. It can be great conversation, especially when somebody else knows that you're not taking the bait, but you're sort of like fishing the bait a little, and then we get it running, and it's hilarious. So I have a good time. But
Thanks, man. Thanks.
yeah, even the podcast, like you go over some of the things satirically, and I feel like they still don't get it either, but I guess they'll come around eventually.
I mean, at a certain point, you kind of like there was a part in the start that I felt guilty, genuinely guilty. I was like, man, like I didn't think it would be this big of an April Fool's joke. But then as it went on, I'm like, like I've explained this enough where I'm going to draw a line right here. If from here on you're still believing it, that's going to be on you, right? Like I can't live with that anymore. It was just way too much. There's a huge, unfortunately, the world is so big, you're not going to be able to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to believe it, that's on you.
Yeah, I feel like the people who are still don't understand the satire part are still like researching QAnon or something crazy like that and just don't get it, right? Like they're lost
Yeah,
already.
because there's people you like. I mean, I can explain it, to you, like what satire is. It's so satirical news sites. What I've become is fairly easy, right? But I've had people that I'll be like, it's. I'll explain it as a parody site versus a satirical site, which is similar but a little different, right? Just because I guess it's not as common knowledge, so those people are going to undoubtedly fall for it.
Yeah. So at the same time, you have this podcast, this passion project that you preach about on your podcast, but you're still on track and you're still competing. So let's talk about what you're doing, because I feel like sometimes in your podcast you don't touch on that enough. But at least for me, I'm not all of your audience, right? So
It's really just you.
get out of here. Me, Carlos, and Jaime, right? Like,
yeah, my whole audience fits in a Honda, so yeah, we're good.
yeah. So, what are you up to? What have you been up to this year on track?
Yeah, so this year I decided to take on Beamer Challenge, which is it's a time trials based program out here in SoCal through Speed Ventures. And originally I was climbing the NASA ladder. I went through HPDE. Got my TT license, did TT for a little while. The goal was to move into wheel-to-wheel racing eventually.
Come to us.
Unfortunately, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out here. I had some issues with rising costs and different things here and there. We don't have to get into all that. But I decided to pivot as a result, and I picked the Beamer Challenge, pick up the rule book, and started working towards that rule book. And I decided I was going to take a year, use that year to do Beamer Challenge, figure out if this was going to be something I would stick to, and figure out what other wheel-to-wheel stuff I could get into later. And I guess the car had different ideas. Now, part of it was my fault. I did money shift twice earlier in the year,
Mm-hmm.
which I caught, but there's still some damage being done there. And then in my last event, probably about 2 months ago now, I'm going into the front straight at Streets of Willow. I look down at my temps and I'm running 280 temps. So immediately, and I have to get through a full lap
Right.
again, kind of coasting before I can take the car out. So the car was done. As soon as I get the car off the track, it shuts off on me and I can't turn it back on. And I did try to turn it back on. So at this point, it's like, okay, well, the motor's fried. Something's up with it. I trailed it back home, took a look at it. There's coolant leaking out the back of the motor, not going in. Like it's coming out of the motor in the back near where it meets the transmission, actually. And there's white smoke coming out of the exhaust. So clearly, I was like, it's going to be time for a rebuild or something of the sorts if I want to keep going. I was looking to go through it aggressively
Right.
and get it done in before the next event. Um, and up to this point, I had gotten 2 first place finishes, 1 third place finish. Well, actually, the event that I messed up the car in, I actually finished third with the time that I put down. And that was my last event. I still had a chance to finish and get the goal of getting first place or winning the championship. Um, but I was putting this whole podcast thing together
Right.
between the podcast stuff and the car stuff and owning 2 other BMWs. I was like, I don't have enough time for any of this, right? Like, what am I doing? And so I was getting really stressed out. I was actually, I think, taking on a little too much. So I decided to move into one thing at a time. So the last 2 months, I've been putting together the new 91 octane, and I decided to take a break from the car and use the rest of the year to rebuild and kind of get it to move it up a class, potentially a Beamer Challenge, unless I find something else to do, in the wheel to wheel racing side of things. That's where I'm at.
Awesome. Yeah. So, what are the other 2 BMWs you torture yourself with?
I have an E92 M3, which is the V8 M3 from 2008 to 2013. And then I have another E36 M3 that I bought fairly recently, maybe about 4 months ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least 2 of them are similar. Are you going to be able to pull the engine out of that recently purchased car to build?
I've thought about it, but it's a VIN matching car. It's got 120,000 miles on it. I kind of want to leave it where it's at and just cannibalize some other car to fix my current car. I'm still the car actually turns on and runs well now. It still overheats. So there's a chance I might be able to rebuild it. I don't know if the head's cracked yet, which is usually what happens when it overheats. But if it's not, I'll be able to rebuild that motor and hopefully get back, with a VIN matching motor on the race car.
So, I guess that's going to be important for you one day when you bring a trailer all your BMWs, right? But
I honestly, that's not my world. I'm definitely like I don't have garage queens. Like I don't want, people listening to this guy's got 3 BMWs. That's obnoxious. Yes, I admit it is obnoxious, but they're not garage queens. I mean, the E92 has 130,000 miles on it. I bought it at 119,000 for $14,000. It definitely needed some work. The E36, both E36s were the same. I like to drive my cars. I like to beat on them. So they're not garage queens by any means. But I do have this sort of snobbery, much like the coffee that you mentioned, where it's nice to have like a couple cars that are whole, that aren't utter pieces of crap, just slightly
but
pieces of
why
crap.
would you pick an E36 to be whole?
You just don't. Well, I mean, I could say this. Well, you don't feel like this way about your Hondas. You don't like. You don't have any desire to have like a nice street Honda.
No, I'm a hoodlum. I think I'd prefer to have like a nice street rear wheel drive something. So
Oh, well, the E36 is rear wheel drive, so there you go.
Yeah, I said nice, but
What would be nice? What would qualify as nice in your book?
oh no, I have dumb dreams of buying like a SN95 Cobra. Someone that already blew
Okay,
it
you're
up.
you're
And
you're
it's just a
dogging the
shell.
E36.
Yeah,
You're dogging
yeah,
on the
for an
E36, and you said
American
SN95 Cobra.
E36. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly the same car. So you would
Yeah.
stay. You would go. That's actually surprising. You for a street car, you would stay an American car.
Oh yeah, I would do something ridiculous like I'd make it a Terminator clone because obviously I'm not buying a Terminator, and then I would put the latest gen Coyote crate motor I could put into it, throw Haltech at it, and then torture my local sheriff's department.
You got to start making friends with them now. That way, they leave you alone
Oh
later.
no, they all love me, and they find it
Oh,
hilarious that
okay.
I live in an area where they don't even know there are houses back here. So I know them.
Oh, nice. That makes it easy.
Yeah, I drive past them and wave when I'm betting and breaks and stuff. So we're good.
Okay,
So you have a motor ahead of you. When is that
I
starting for
do.
you? You know, because
So that is
the when is off season
that
for you?
is
Because you guys always talk about it's too
okay.
hot. It's July.
Like, to be honest, this is probably the first year that there's an off season for me, and it wasn't even voluntary.
Uh-huh.
Like I was sort of forced into it by the motor going out. It's we're not used to the heat out here. Maybe, out in different places of the country they are. But when you get above 100 degrees out here, that's when we start calling maybe it's the off season. If we're talking strictly NASA, there's normally no events in like August and September, and we'll pick up back in October. That's when you can consider sort of an off season. I think the last couple of years has been more events.
Uh-huh.
But honestly, here there are events year round. You might not be racing year round,
Right.
because NASA has 2 or 3 months off. But most time trial events or a lot of time trial events are still going, and definitely a lot of open track days are still occurring. So most of the time, you use it as just practice time, seat time. There is no real
Mm-hmm.
I would say there is no real off season, unless you're like maybe top level program like race teams. Maybe they have to take that time off. But for us lowly, kind of low bottom of the totem pole guys,
Right.
I wouldn't say there is a true off season. Where our cars are doing nothing.
Yeah. So okay. So there's no true off season, but when does your when's 2024 officially start for you? I'm assuming you're going to do the Bimmer challenge again.
Ooh, starts in January.
Okay.
Yeah, immediately in January. There's an event, and there's an event every month. Like if we're talking just Beamer Challenge, they're probably off the month of August, and that's it.
Oh wow.
Every other month has an event. Yeah.
So your off season's like Christmas and New Year's, and then you got to get back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Christmas and New Year's, and then you're back into it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's events. I mean, there's events every weekend, but if we're talking just Beamer Challenge, there's an event once a month through December, and then you start back up in
Oh
January.
wow. Okay. So are you looking to
Yeah.
kick off again in 2024 in January?
Yes, yeah, that's the plan. The plan is to be done with everything by the start of December,
Mm-hmm.
and then have a month where maybe I go to one or two events, just do a quick shakedown, and then start again back in January. I mean, I still want to shoot for that championship, unless something else changes, maybe like a new governing body shows up or something, and that's a little more appealing. But right now, that's not available, and that doesn't happen overnight. So Beamer Challenge will pick back up in January.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's now September.
yes, sir.
What's your plan between now and January?
So next weekend, I'm supposed to pull the motor.
Okay.
I'm supposed to. I make no commitments in that regard, but I'm supposed to pull the motor. I've already got an idea of what parts I need to buy in order to what I want to
hmm
achieve. I do definitely need to send the motor off to get checked and cleared and make sure that there aren't any cracks in there I can't see. Um, but I estimate, maybe a month end to end, use November. I know there's holidays in there, but use November to get the motor back in order, and get it back in early December ahead of a couple events. In the meantime, working on other things. So I'm gonna move up a class for next year. So I'm gonna get lighter. I'm gonna get more arrow because I wasn't using any arrow in my current class. And I'm gonna upgrade my diff too. So that should yield some clear benefits. Also going with the new suspension, going with reaction. So it'll be getting used to and tuning that as well. But definitely a lot to do prior to January.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. I didn't realize it was you were. I mean, I know you own the Arrow already, right? Because you talked about on your podcast, you talked about having to take it off and at least the rear Arrow, and we're running a smaller front splitter, maybe. But um,
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were going to swap your suspension out too. So that takes work, man. I'm telling you, that's what I'm doing. It's not going to be fun.
Oh yeah. Is that what? So you've got a lot to do to your car too?
I mean, not really. So knock on wood. Uh, it's not broken. It just doesn't handle the way I want. So, there's one more race weekend,
Did you?
and then for us in the Mid Atlantic region, we stop in October. There's a test day weekend that we normally do. It's all HPDE with the same region, but that's in November. So I may or may not do that. It depends on where the car is and whether it's like stripped naked or not. But I don't really need to touch the engine and transmission. It's all suspension stuff. So one of the first things I need to do is I'm going to take it to a local shop, GT Piece, and get them to basically measure everything on the alignment rack because I need to see what my toe curves are and camber curves and things like that. So we're going to work on that, get an idea where it is. And if I can get that between vacation and the November event, I'll swap some rear springs in the car and test those. And then I'm going to come home with all that data and maybe a big checkbook, who knows, and either buy some MCS or Penske's to replace my my red shifts, or I'll just roll with my red shifts and have them rebuilt. I don't know yet. But my
Yeah. This is like, that's what I'm coming up on too with having three cars. We chose such an expensive
yeah, we
hobby.
did.
And even when things are going well, it's so expensive. And so, with you talk about getting your alignment measurements done. Why don't you do that at home?
Because it's more accurate when they do it, and it's in the grand scheme of my budget and off season, it's not that expensive. So,
Got it. No, that makes sense.
I have. So I've been specking everything out. I'm a big race program guy. I want to plan everything I can plan. I want to my plan for next year is to have a test weekend or a test day every month that I have a race. So I always want to be working on and improving the car, and I burn up tires like crazy. Right now, my count is that I need 18 front tires for next year.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you with 2 events a month?
Yeah.
Holy, why?
My local
That seems like
my local track, the one that's closest to me, the cheapest to get a test day, will eat a set of tires, brand new stickers in a weekend.
wow.
And I raced there 4 times.
Okay.
I raced there 4 times, and I'm looking at 8 practice days. So that's 12 just for there. And then there's 4 front tires for the other events.
Damn. Okay. Do you have a tire sponsor? I think you need a tire sponsor.
No, but I'm accepting sugar daddies and sugar mamas and all sorts. No,
Jeez, 18. No, I go through 2 full sets, I would say, a year. But it's different. I'm not doing racing. But still, that's wild.
yeah. So I mean, I plan down to that level, right? So the other thing that's on my list to do this weekend, I need to check all the expiration dates. As a race car driver, it's September. I want to plan
Yeah.
to call my local safety equipment company. OG Racing is the local one for me, in January and be like, okay, when are the new seats coming in? If my seats expire, when are the new belts coming in? I want the first ones. You know, I'll drive there. I'll bring them Duck
Right.
Donuts and be like, this is my card. Call me when this comes in. And the salespeople will do it. You know, they're good about that. They don't really need to be bribed, but I like to bribe them anyway because it keeps me on their good side. So,
Well, I mean, donuts, that's not too high of a cost, right, to bribe someone. But I mean, so you're essentially you're every single department in your race program. Now you're kind of very diligently figuring all these things out. But I mean, honestly, if I could count the amount of times everything went to plan, like in one hand,
right.
what happens when, your plans break or, things change? Like, are you ready for that too? Because it looks like you're planning everything to the T.
Well, when you plan to spend as much money as humanly possible in 2024, if you break, another couple $1,000s isn't that big of a deal, right? Um, but no,
Yeah.
so I have to time all this stuff, right? Because the other problem is my front tires only come 2 shipments a year from Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have to figure out early whether that second shipment is earlier than halfway or later than halfway, and then buy everything at once and be tire rich and space poor and wallet poor, or can I spread it out, So there's a lot of planning going on right now. Which organizations am I going to test with? Do I need to be a member? What's that cost going to look like? All that stuff. I'm looking at all sorts of things.
So at the beginning of the year, you already know exactly how much you're going. Well, maybe not exactly. There are surprises, but barring any surprises, you already know exactly what you're going to spend.
Yes and no. So I the episode that just came out this week, so I don't even know what it is, episode 40, I think. We talk about the price between me owning my race car and going to the track and racing versus somebody who is an arrive and drive paid guy, right? So they pay money and show up and they don their suit and get into a prepared car. I already know what it costs me per event. And so I sort of extrapolate that by each event. Next year is going to be more complicated because there's more test days, and I probably have to buy another set of wheels just to make sure I have things ready to go when I need them, timing wise. There's a lot of planning that I'm doing just for 2024. And then that I just want to keep snowballing through 2025 and push this car development to the next level. That way, literally, I just try to keep the blame of being slow all on me. And it's it is my fault, right? Like, I don't like the way the car handles.
Usually is. Yeah.
I don't like the way the car feels. I wish it was looser. Well, there's people who are like, yeah, you can still be fast like this. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay. I get it. I can't. It's a mental block for me.
What do you mean by looser?
I need the rear end to come around.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I plow like I'm looking for snow, man. It's just front first, pushing, fighting all the way through the corner. So
hence the 18 tires.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. I'm hoping that if I can solve this suspension issue, if it is a suspension issue, that it will actually save me tires in the long run. And maybe I don't burn all 18 front tires this year. Maybe I can keep 4 in reserve, wrap them, put them in my dining room to my wife's chagrin, and then use them for practice tires in 2025. So part of the chassis development, my plan for 2024 and what I'm looking to do this off season is to get the car turning so I eventually save myself tires and therefore money.
No, that makes sense. Well, but that's a byproduct of what you're really trying to achieve is build a car that you can be fast in.
Yes, absolutely. I'm hoping to get faster and save money.
What is yeah, what is your like ultimate goal with this, very detailed race program you put together?
Well, so it's detailed in certain respects where I race with guys who sort of wing the off season and then have very detailed event to event and at event programs. So, I mean, there's a whole nother podcast on what race programs are. And I got a little bit of that from a former national champion already. But yeah, just because I'm organized now doesn't mean it's always going to be fruitful at every event. So what I'm doing is maximizing my off season and trying to refine how I attack each event. So your race program will evolve from an off season program to the actual season program. And really the goal for all of it is to be more competitive. I mean, I race with 2 national champions and they've won 3 of the last 3 national championships in my class. So to be at our home tracks and then compete with them and be near them, maybe beat them. God, I wish I could beat them right now, but that's not going to happen for a while. But you got to work for it, right? They worked for it. Now you got to work for it.
Yeah.
So my off season is all so I can get close to my front runners who are basically all national champions.
That's good. I mean, it's good to have good competition around you because it elevates you. So you're now working on things according to kind of them, learning from them and also trying to beat them. Where are you now against that?
Not close enough. So we ended up, my last event, I was 1 second a lap off of the current H2 national champion, Jonathan Baker. Congrats again, man. That doesn't cut it, right? So, you're doing 2-minute laps, you're doing 2:01s, the race is 40 minutes, you end up 18 to 20 seconds behind number 1. I want to see them at the end, maybe I want to see them in my rearview mirror. Like that's the goal. You should always want to be better. You should always want to be faster. You should never walk out into the garage and go, I'm going to bleed these brakes so I can be last. I've been last.
No,
I've been there.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. I know I've been last. I know I go to an event. My rookie year, I knew every event I went to, I was fighting for last place or second to last place, right? That's where we were fighting because the group I race with is so fast. They're very competitive. Okay. But I went into the garage to improve. And now I'm finishing between, say, 4th and 7th regularly. I want to move that up. I want to start seeing more 3s, more 3rd places. Get me closer to the podium. Then if I'm on the podium, get me closer to 1 and 2. Because honestly, 1 and 2 battle each other within, a 1/10 of a second every lap. So that's how close they are. I got 9/10 to find. It's a lot. It's a lot of time in the wheel-to-wheel world. So,
but you're driving in a car you're not comfortable in, so there's room. There's definitely a lot of room.
Yeah, we'll chalk that up as my number 1 of 1,000 racer excuses, right? So we all have them.
Yeah.
We all have them.
Yeah, we have them by default. Yeah,
I'll readily admit to it. There's definitely things I can work on myself. That's part of my off season is I need to get my shape less round. I try it year after year. I whittle a little bit off every year, but it doesn't really stick all the time. I enjoy myself a lot
I'm
at the
with you,
track.
man.
Race weekends do not help me because we have carne, we have, the beers flow, like your diet is terrible at the track. It just doesn't work out for me, but that's what we're working on, is trying to get it cut out of my life. So the other thing I got to do this winter, I got to find 50 pounds in the car to take out. Would be helpful if I took 25 of it out of me, so it,
I mean, I'm dealing with the same exact thing. Like, because in my classing currently, they only count the weight of the car, which we have opinions on that. I have opinions on that. But they only count the weight of the car. So my weight doesn't even count. So the
right.
fact that I'm a bigger guy is a huge disadvantage. And so I've been trying to work on that as well. But it's like you said, man, that's harder than any of the other things I've had
Absolutely.
to do for track
Yeah.
life.
I can do a lot of other stuff. I can learn a lot of other things. I can I can I
Yeah.
can skip meals, which you would think would, like, cut the weight, but it saves you more money so you can buy that other stuff, right? And I can do that
Yeah.
way easier than actually shedding the pounds, So,
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like that's so hard. It's like I dedicate almost every minute of my day to cars in some form or another, right? I mean,
mhm.
other than my job. But then anything
They're
outside
not
of my day
listening, don't
job,
worry.
right? Like I'm working on yeah, my podcast, the cars, all the cars that I have. I'm constantly like researching like what parts are the most affordable while being the most effective. And you're right. It's like those things are all complicated and hard to achieve and require motivation and determination to do. But I can't apply it to just not eating food. I just need to just not eat it, and then I'm good.
Yeah, but um, I could get my wife preaches about intermittent fasting all the time, and I'm like, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning
Oh,
and then wait till noon, right? That's 9 hours of being awake where you don't get food. For her, that would be like, whatever, 7 to 3:30, 4 o'clock, So,
I'm also on an intermittent faster.
mhm.
Um, I've actually done it for like my entire life before I knew what it was because I didn't really eat breakfast. So I always started with lunch for the most part, kind of as I grew up. And so I found out now I'm doing it now, but I think I'm so used to it that I don't really get all the benefits that or maybe I just eat too much for lunch
Are
and
you a
dinner. I
black
don't know.
coffee drinker?
I am
Okay.
a black coffee
Okay.
drinker.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I drink how many cups of coffee do you have a day?
too.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
No, I need, yeah, that's another podcast about blood pressure and all the other stuff. As you get older, you got to cut stuff down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
As I drink one of my tall
Yeah.
boy
We're more concerned
Imperials.
with we're more concerned with racing in terms of our health than our actual health, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Did I pass the physical to race? Yes. Okay. I don't care.
Yeah, right? There you go. That's like a clean bill of health in my book.
Okay. So you, you, you're planning to do suspension. Are you going to try to dial your suspension in at events?
Yeah, so that's the plan. I use this year to learn how to do my own alignments. So I
Okay.
do my own string alignments now. I've got it down to, an hour and change to do a full alignment.
Hmm.
And the strange part is that I don't really come out of alignment that much. Even with having offs in the E36, most of the time I measure it and it's almost exactly the same. A
Right.
few tweaks here and there. Um, but yeah, no, definitely the plan is to get a little more scientific on the track, as opposed to getting everything ready before leaving and towing there and then running and then coming back and then measuring, which is what I had been doing last year. I want to take, the string kit to the track and make adjustment based on the data from the previous session because I'll have I have 3 sessions to figure out a fast lap, right? Those are the sessions that count. It's the first 3 sessions. So I think if I want to maximize and beat some of the cars in the new class that I'm coming into, I'm gonna have to get that detailed with how I configure my car.
I'm going to respectfully request updates every debriefs from every one of your events on the podcast. Not
Oh, absolutely. I will. I hadn't really. I hadn't really. I'm gonna come on this every week and just give you updates. I hadn't really thought about that because, like I knew that I was going to talk less about, kind of the car, my car world and even just my own car ownership and then track life. But I didn't realize how little I would actually talk about it. So I think you're right. I think, maybe I'll incorporate the Beamer Challenge segment because the new format for 91 Octane is I don't really have guests, I have guest hosts.
Right.
That's sort of the expectation that I'm trying to set with it, right? I want your help in kind of dissecting the information that is going on every week. And so, yeah, I'm respectfully abide by that request and kind of keep you updated on how I'm doing because it also works kind of as a journal for me to kind of recap, what's happening and what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. Sometimes it takes saying things out loud to hear how ridiculous they are. And the podcast has done a lot of that for me,
Absolutely.
in terms of talking about things.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
definitely and then all the haters will come out and tell you what you're doing wrong too. And then you may actually
Yeah.
get some
Everybody's got a method.
right. My way is right, John.
Yeah.
Do it this way.
Yeah. 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 Which I appreciate. Honestly, I do. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm gonna take your advice and apply it as is. I'm gonna take your information and I'm gonna combine it with mine, and then I'm gonna come up with the best assessment out of those things, right? I'm not gonna ignore anyone's suggestion. I love feedback, right? Everybody's got different pieces of knowledge, different perspectives, different experience to contribute to especially in racing or anything competitive. But just know, don't be offended. I'm gonna try to modify and tweak and learn different things to do. Based on your feedback. Sometimes I'll take it, straight up. Sometimes I'll modify it. I'm sure you're the same way.
Oh yeah. I always have some idea that I always think is right. And then somebody will be like, yeah, but if you did it this way, I love efficiency. So I love things that help me save time, money, make my life easier. I think one of the worst things I ever did was I put a new rear sway bar on my car that requires me to unlock my toe links in the rear to mount it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then I had to buy specialty tools. So now I have like a alignment roll up, that has all the little tools I need to do the alignment on the car. I just put them all in this roll and I'm like,
Let me stop you right here. Let me stop you right here, Con, because I need to hear this again. Are you telling me that your Honda has special tools?
well, not quite like BMWs do, but it's
Wait, no,
Okay.
no. You're splitting hairs now.
so okay. Yeah. All right. You can catch me on this. That's cool.
No, I'm taking this to Jaime. Jaime's gonna love hearing this. Like,
so
he gets on me about special tools all the time. So hearing that there's some Honda special tools.
it's not okay. So I lived most of my life working out of like a Craftsman 120 piece toolkit. And as I lost pieces, I would buy replacement ones, right? And then eventually I started building engines. And so I needed some 12-point stuff, right? And don't let any Honda head fool you. Everyone has a weighted 19 millimeter to take the crank pulley off their engine, right? That's the real specialty tool we all need. The rest of it is bogus, right? But because I bought this certain hollow sway bar kit and where it mounts, I have to use a claw foot, like, the claw foot that fits onto your ratchet. I don't own any of those. I've
Right.
literally worked out of a Craftsman kit and then pieces that I bought here and there, right? So I probably have a 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, 19, 12 point deep set that I had to put together outside of my Craftsman kit.
Okay.
And that's it. But now, and the 19 mil weighted one that everyone owns that they never tell you about.
Yeah, this is news to me.
Oh yeah, it makes taking crank pulleys off amazing. So amazingly easy anyway. And then after that, so I bought clawfoot. That's it. One. Actually, I bought two. So one goes in my track bag, one goes in the roll. So I always know where there's one. If I look in the roll and it's missing, I can go to the track bag and find another one and just get it done. And then know I have to pay more attention when I pack up. Yeah.
So you have two kits, you have a track set of tools, and then you have your home tools?
Sort of. I may have 4 sets of everything.
Really? Why 4?
Well, my wife breaks stuff on her Jeep. I break stuff on the race car. I don't want her stealing my tools while I'm working on my race car. So you got to double it there, right? And then
Right, okay.
I have the track set up. So that's the third one. And then I just, after all these years, I've acquired a whole nother set-ish somehow. You lose it, you're like, screw it, I got to go to Lowe's or wherever anyway, let me just buy it, right? So I end up with a lot.
'Cause I've been debating this, and I think you've inspired me to make a decision here. Because I have one set, and so prior to every track day, I put my bags together, I put my rolls together, I kind of assess what I need, and pack it all up, and then go out. But I'm like, man, it'd be much easier if I just had these things rolled up and ready to go in my truck. But you've got 4 sets. So for the most part, you're not doing much packing for track days.
No, so I have one dedicated track set. That's already, it usually lives because I live open trailer life, it lives in the trunk of my car. And then the other 3 are basically dispersed in my Snap-on toolbox that's in the garage. So I have 3 10 millimeter 6 points, 3 12s, 3 10 mil 6 point, deep well, and then 3 12 point 10 mil deep wells. Like, I just literally collect all of it. It's fine.
What's the biggest job you've done at the track?
I've been fortunate again that I haven't had to do that kind of like a motor swap or a trans swap. I've helped people do those. The biggest thing I've done trackside is my old car had a axle snapping issue, and you basically have to pop both axles out. One side would break all the time. I'd have to pull the half shaft off the engine and then get a punch in and knock the nugget out because it was breaking inside the transmission. And that just got overwhelming. That car probably got cut up and thrown in the trash because I left the ball joint tool at home.
What?
Yeah, I mean, not really. It was bent. The car was bent.
Okay. Okay.
We knew it was bent. We got it checked. It was bent. But I was trying to change the axle, I think, for the 3rd time that weekend. And the first 2 times, I just tapped on the control arm with a hammer. It popped the ball joint loose, and no big deal. The last time, and the last axle I owned, I tried to tap on it and it wouldn't come loose. And then I went to go find in my track bag the ball joint tool that I carried, and it was missing. So then I went back with the hammer and just beat on the control arm incessantly until one of my friends and guys I raced with brought me a ball joint tool. But I think I literally was throwing my shoulder out of socket. I was swinging and cursing and being angry. So
That does not sound fun.
but I think the biggest thing I've ever really done is I had I'll put them on blast. I don't care. I don't use their stuff anymore. Quick latch, the push button, you know, hold your bumper on, hold your hood on, that kind of thing.
Got it. Yeah.
The quick latch detachable setup. These were legit ones I bought from Quick Latch. They no longer sell directly. They sell through like Summit or wherever. Anyway, it was a Hyperfest. My quick latches failed about the 5th lap of the race, not of practice or qualifying. Excuse me. Took out my windshield, dented my roof. I had to come in, figure out how to hold my now disintegrated carbon fiber hood down. My buddy Jason started removing my windshield. We had to rip out my Lexan because they wouldn't let me run with the Lexan rear glass. And then I ran around like a roadster. No windshield.
What?
Yeah, no windshield, no rear glass. And I was told that all the corner workers would be looking for me to have even the slightest crack in my visor. That if my visor was up at all, that they would black flag me. Yep.
Wow, dude. I honestly, I would have thought they wouldn't let you out that way. I didn't realize you could go out without a windshield.
Yeah, they required that I pull the back glass so it didn't balloon and blow out. And then I had,
right.
So that was all NASA required. And then I had to get approval from, Michael Young, my series lead, to run that way. He said, yeah, sure. Whatever. That's back when I was last place anyway. So it didn't matter.
Okay. So he literally said, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I didn't need a cool suit. It was so nice.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what, like, did it take a little getting used to?
No, because I rode motorcycles for a long time. So
I was just going to ask. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
yeah, 120 miles an hour in the chest is no big deal. You just keep driving, right? So
yeah. Why don't you race motorcycles?
Because I like my collarbones.
So, like, we have some like biker guys out here, and I've heard it a lot, that say racing bikes is safer than racing cars.
No.
What is your opinion on that question?
They're completely wrong.
Me too.
They're completely wrong, and I'll tell you why. Maybe out where you are, okay, where it's nothing but sand and no grass and all that stuff. We have walls.
Yeah, all we are is sand and no grass. Yeah.
So we have tire walls. They put up the air safer barriers for these guys. They spent 2 years raising funds to get enough air barriers out. And then I still see them. You can have offs on a motorcycle where you're way into the 140 mile an hour range in the grass in a bike not designed to be in the grass ever. And you will fly so far that you're breaking lots of stuff. And I like to work, so I can make money, so I can spend my money. And I don't get to work so much when I'm like all janked up with casts and stuff.
Janked up is the correct term for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. There's no way it's safer. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah. No, I got a million reasons too.
Well, I live 35 minutes from Summit Point Raceway, and they'll probably get mad that I say this, but for the longest time, every race weekend, Lifeline was flying in. Every weekend they raced.
What?
Yeah. Somebody would crash so bad,
wow,
they'd have to get flown out. Have I seen that at the racetrack with cars? Yes. but not every weekend. Not every weekend.
No. Wow, really?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I've never seen I've only been doing this for 3 years, 4 years, but I've never seen someone airlifted out of a track.
Oh yeah. I've seen it multiple times now.
Oh, okay.
And so at Summit Point they have 3, 4-ish racetracks. Okay. If the motorcycles are running on another racetrack and we're racing on another one in the same complex, when that guy high sides into the guardrail and needs to be flown out, they shut all racing down in the entire complex.
For the whole day?
No, until the helicopter lands, takes the person away, and leaves. There are like no moving objects are allowed.
How long is that usually?
Half hour minimum.
Okay. That's actually pretty quick, but yeah.
I mean, that's minimum. They don't shut it down until they're ready to land. So they shut us down when they're trying to land, and then they assess the person.
Oh, so if you're like mid-race.
Oh, yeah.
You're mid-race, and now the helicopter's coming in. It's like, all right, everybody out.
Yep. They'll black flag it. At least red flag it.
So, like, does that mean that the race ends there, or is there a continuance?
There likely will be a continuance, but it won't be for long. You know,
Okay.
They're going to get you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They're going to roll you around under the pace car one time, let you free for one lap. Your next lap's going to be the white. The next one's going to be the checker. So you're going to get 3 laps, after something like that. So, and everybody knows that's coming. So
that's wild. I hope I never see it, but I've never seen that.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. And most of the folks that I've seen it for have it's about 50-50. So that have lived. So.
Oh shit. That's okay. Wow.
But I mean, that includes
wasn't expecting that.
The bikes and stuff that we were at. So
I should have probably asked this at the beginning, but is this a no cussing situation?
Oh no, it doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
57 minutes in, he wants to make sure it's okay. He's a professional, guys.
Oh man,
he's a professional.
Not even close, clearly.
Yeah. So one of the last things I know I do for the off season, just because maybe I was jaded by COVID and all the supply line stuff that we had to go through, I start really doing, I haven't done it yet, but I'll start doing the math on how many oil changes I think I'm going to need to do, how many transmission fluid changes I'll need to do. And one of the big things for me, and I don't know if you've got the I don't know what your ball or brake setup is, whether you're still on the stock stuff, but I do not want to have to wait for 2-piece rotors to come in,
Gotcha.
So I know,
but I mean, that's a different level, man. Like, is that how things are done out there? Because I don't buy my oil. Well, I have oil on hand, but I don't have like a year's worth of oil on hand.
I won't say I'll do a year's worth, but I'll go, this is how many cases I need. And then I sort of know, okay, this is my interval and this is when I need to start ordering. So after my 3rd event, I got to go order some more or whatever it is, but I ran out of oil during COVID. They didn't have.
Oh shit! Okay,
I couldn't get my hands on the oil that I wanted. So
to put it in perspective, real quick, how often do you change the oil on your car?
Okay, this is the famous Ross Bentley. It depends. Early in the year, I will usually can get away with 2 race weekends before I change it. But as we get into the warmer months and my oil temps start to climb. They're not bad. They're not. In March, I don't see over like 230 degrees on my oil temps. But
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
But by July, August, I'm in the 270-ish range. So then I'll start.
Okay.
Then I'll start changing every event. So that's when it depends.
Gotcha. Okay. So damn it, that's a lot.
No, it's not. Leave it alone. It's fine. It's nice and thin. Makes horsepower.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, it's a lot, man. That's a lot of oil changes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then transmission fluid. I'm running an OS Geiken metal plated diff because I'm pretty sure that's all they make. They don't make helical diffs, but I don't try to change that very often because I sort of everything needs to wear together. That's my personal opinion. I know guys who are very religious and they change it after every event, but my transmission has a magnet in it, and then I run a magnet plug, So I try to help catch as much of the plate material as possible. But yeah, I'm a meticulous planner, and I've already started planning for 2024, and it's only September, so.
Yeah, you're underselling it, man. Yeah, I used to feel organized, and then I came on Blind Apex podcast, and now I don't.
Oh, I used to feel organized too, and then I started this podcast, and now I can't even keep up with my own calendar. So
Yeah, no, that happens. That definitely happens.
I'm like, am I recording tonight? Who is it with? What are we talking about? Oh crap. When do I need a new episode? And it just, yeah, it's lost.
It's a lot of activity, man. It's so much like no, I mean, the way that you're planning it, which honestly, I would argue it's necessary to do what you're doing. In terms of planning everything, it probably actually avoids a lot of headaches and a lot of stress. But yeah, man, no, I think you're the first person I've met, at least that's admitted it to me, that you're, planning out your maybe not your year's worth of oil changes, but a significant portion of them. You got 18 wheels down. I mean, your off season seems to be busier than your regular season, right? Than your actual season in a lot of ways in some of the planning. But that prep, what's the saying, right? Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And you got to make the most of the off season.
Well, so I think it's even more important now because I'm busier with the podcast. So the more I can plan and prepare in the off season, the more time and flexibility it gives me during the season to take care of those emergency things that I don't plan for, right? I've had to be in my transmission a couple times, at least in the first year. That was totally unplanned. So, you're spending another $1,000 to refresh the transmission, even for minor things, So that kind of cost. I also have a thing on budgets. It's a pretty popular podcast for people to listen to. I know most people are, I don't want to call it paycheck to paycheck, but they're sort of like, this month I can afford to race this and I can buy this. And then if something breaks, I take a month off, right? That's how they live. I'm fortunate to try through this planning process, this off-season planning process, to get as much as I can get beforehand. Heck, my dad will ask me for a Christmas list. You know what's on my Christmas list? All y'all can get together and get me a set of wheels. How about that? Right? Because I need it, but I don't know I need it unless I plan for it. So I come with my hand out. It's not like I'm rolling in it, right? But I'm starting now. It's September. I'm not starting in March going, this month I'm going to pay for. I'm starting in September. I'm 6 months ahead going, this month I can afford this, and this month I can afford that, all for the goal of starting in March, so.
Did you always do it this way, or did you learn this behavior?
it was pretty much learned. My first car was a heaping pile of poo. It was so bad. I was fixing it all the time. I spent so much money on that car that I easily could have built the car that I own now, right? And it was just that car changed my mentality from this is good enough to buy once, cry once. It was cemented. Buy once, cry once was cemented with that car. Not it's good enough. Not it's Instagram hot boy life. None of that. Buy once, cry once. And I was fortunate, you know, I have partners with James and the crew down at IPG Parts, and even with that help, you know, even with the help and support that they give me through our partnership, I spent a ton of money just on ignition systems. I went through probably 3 different ignition systems before I found the one that worked, and the one that worked was the most expensive. So,
Of course.
yeah, and it's so reliable. It got sold with the motor out of the old car and is run like, you know, 80 or 100 hours in endurance racing right now. No issues. So, and that's why I plan so vigorously, right? So, like, I'm going to go look at my 2-piece rotors. I have DBA 2-piece rotors for my AP caliper setup that goes on my car. It's a custom kit. Okay. DBAs aren't the best. They aren't the worst. They've seen a solid year of abuse, and now I need to go measure them. Do I keep them? I don't know. They're off a Evo 8. So if I want to sell them used, I can get a couple $100 from an Evo driver for them, right? They bolt right on. It's a stock Evo 8 replica, or, you know, 2-piece. And if I need to go to something better, I can. But if not, I need to put those rings on order because they're not going to last forever. You know, I'll know how long I have left in them after I measure them, but I know I need to order them this off season. Put $400, take that out of the account.
How many spares do you start the season with? So what do you accumulate during the off season in terms of spares?
Okay. So that's a whole, man, we should get Jaime on here and we could have a whole, like, what do you carry spares wise? Because it's very car dependent. I'm a drive-by-wire car.
Yeah.
So I carry a full throttle body. All the sensors, everything ready to go.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a coil car, so I carry coils. I carry most of the sensors that you can buy from Honda. I actually didn't race 2 races this year because of a transmission sensor that I didn't have that's hard to come by, that I now own 3 of, because that'll never happen to me again.
Right.
But so I carry sensors, I carry the throttle body, I carry coils, I carry a spare set of spark plugs. This year, one of my off-season plans is to go hunt down a set of OEM Honda axles to have backup for the car, because I don't have them yet. Knock on wood, I haven't needed them, but you never know. And then basically, I check my brakes after every event, so I never really carry those. I'll buy them or have them, at least pads wise. I probably should order pads because they're harder to come by. The Ray Bestos pads that I run are harder to come by, so I probably should order a set and just carry those with the rings. I have a box that's called the brake box, and right now it's empty. It's got like the bleed bottle and some Castrol in it, and that's it. But I'll throw all that other stuff in there. And then tires, because my car loves tires. Doesn't really hate anything else, but tires. So I try to keep it simple. I tow with my Tundra on an open trailer. Only so much fits in it. You know, inside, outside, in the bed, in the trunk of the car. So, yeah.
I live the same life. Yeah, I tow with a Colorado on an open trailer, so
Oh, you tow with a Colorado?
I get it.
You tow a E36. How much does your car weigh?
3,100.
And how much is your trailer?
But I have an aluminum trailer.
Oh, you're rich. You have an aluminum trailer. Okay. You just have...
No, I bought it off a guy that was dying. It's a true story.
Best deals, but
Yeah.
rest in peace. Hopefully he's happy that he sold it to somebody who's using it for a passion, So.
Oh, I hope so too. Yeah, it's probably haunted, but so far so good.
That's all good. I mean, I know you guys in California with your open trailers, it's all because you like have space issues and ordinances about where you park stuff and things like that. So
no, actually, no ordinances where I live, but you're right. It definitely was a space issue for me because I definitely wanted to keep it in the driveway, and so I needed like a light, small trailer to keep. But it'd be nice to have more space and get a larger trailer because I have a 14 footer. I mean, it's just the car that fits on there.
yeah, me too. My car barely fits. Yeah. I mean, it fits like a normal
Mine
Honda.
hangs off the edge a little bit.
No, mine's flush. But yeah. Hella flush.
I mean, it is a Honda.
Yeah.
So.
Always hella flush with those Hondas. Don't play.
Hella flush. The new definition.
Right. My rear bumper does not hang off my trailer.
Yeah.
All right. We're well over an hour deep into this. So, any alibis on what you're doing this off season, how you're going to approach this? Because you got to pay for all this stuff, right? So, are you going to the blood bank every week?
Yeah, it's... no, luckily, I do all right with my day job.
Right.
And, it's, this 91 octane kind of gives you some walking around money sometimes, or the coffee brand actually too. But
pitch that. What's your coffee brand? Because I need to get in on that.
Cafe Carrera. I gotta send you some, man. You gotta give me your address. So yeah, I gotta send you some. I didn't realize you drank coffee, black coffee especially. I gotta get you hooked up. But yeah, no, through all that stuff, knowing certain people here and there, you kind of get hooked up with stuff out here, if you're nice enough. And doing all the work myself, literally everything myself, kind of, allows me to afford the car lifestyle that we're looking for, owning, 90s German shit boxes.
Right. I feel you.
And so
I do almost everything myself. And the only reason I'm taking the car to get measured is because I know I'll screw it up and have to do it 5 times. And really the price isn't that bad. So, but generally speaking,
that makes sense. I think
my personal handle, handle on Instagram is garage grade race car. I do most of it myself.
Yeah. And there was a point where I was learning all these things, so it was exciting, right? I think now that I know my chassis end to end, I can admit that I absolutely hate working on my car. I love driving. Working on my car and wrenching, though, that is not a passion of mine at all.
Okay. So when is the engine removal party, and so I can get my Jaime Spirit Airlines tickets over?
Yeah.
So I can help.
He's been asking me the same thing. So like, I think I'm gonna have to do it. I mean, the plan was to do it next weekend, but maybe it's time to make an event out of it and maybe push it 2 weeks out or so.
Okay.
And get you involved. Actually, you know what? It'd be better if you came out for the engine install party.
Yeah.
And we crank it up and you get that first start. I think that'd be better.
Yeah, and I'm really good at opening beers and handing beers out. I'm also good at breaking bolts and getting out the broken bolts. So I do have a use.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. You need to be a requirement in every garage party ever. Yeah, you need that guy.
Oh, absolutely. That when you guys talked about that on with Jaime on your podcast, I was like, that's me. I do that all the time. I have every implement to take it out. I have every
Good.
back it out, heat it out, everything. I have all implements of destruction. That's my specialty tools.
Extractors.
Yep. So, you have 91octane no numbers.com, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right. Is that where they can find Carrera Coffee? Because I know all the homies drink coffee. So
That's exactly where, yeah. It used to be a separate site, but I just decided to combine it all because it's just me by myself.
it's much easier.
But yeah, everything is at 91octane.com/shop. And that's again 91octane, no, all letters, no numbers. And yeah, I mean, you could always reach out to me on my socials. I know you guys are all race car guys, so you guys are like, oh, this guy just does qualifying. It's glorified qualifying. I know the comments. I've listened to Blind Apex. I know what's up.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you come back so you can defend your time trial stance against like how awesome it is and where it is on the food pyramid or dominance wise of motorsports, you know. So
Oh man, that's a hard debate. I don't know that I defend it completely, but unless you're qualifying one or two, I'm not sure that you can talk crap about time trials.
well, so and sneak for everybody out there. Next week is my first motorsports discipline specific podcast is coming out because we're covering hill climbs. And I didn't.
Oh, nice.
Everybody knows about Pikes Peak, right? And out east, we have every state has a hill climb here or there. But I didn't realize that there's a deep historical culture around hill climbs. So tune in for that one. It'll be out before this one's out. Go back and listen to it. But I want to do that. I want to do that for autocrossing because that's basically everyone's gateway. Okay. But I know autocrossers. I purchased my car from an autocrosser who swears that I don't know how to drive because I can't make the car rotate. I swear that it rotates great in the first 60 seconds that you drive the car out of the paddock. But it stops 40 minutes later. It does not rotate 40 minutes later, right? There's no 40-minute long autocross. So there's lots of arguments to be had, and I want to hash it out, because there's actually skills that you pick up along the way, along your journey, right? And I want to highlight those and then highlight sort of the motorsports culture that each one has, and give a little overview for folks. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, that'd be great because you're right, man. Autocross was a gateway for me. I learned a lot there.
Yep.
But yeah, I've learned a lot more going to racetracks.
Absolutely. So, all right, John, I really appreciate you coming on. It's finally good to talk to you, not with my thumbs. So,
Likewise, man. Thanks for having me on, dude. It's been awesome. It's been nice to talk about like cars and racing and track life a little more because I hadn't realized how much of a break I've taken from it. So thank you for letting me talk crap about all my BMWs and your Hondas and finding out that there's a special tool on the JDM side, so I can go talk crap to Jaime for a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. But thank you so much for having me on, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.